welcome to an AHEM Moment with Caroline Cho.
And Eric Cadena.
Okay, just letting you all know I have a tad bit of laryngitis, but we are going to make this work. And so everybody, it is a really cold day here in New York City, which is where we're coming in from. And I hope everyone is warm and cuddly wherever you are.
It is so cold out there.
For years, everyone's been telling us to talk about the story of us. And that was a resounding hell no for me for a really long time. No, it really was. And mostly, I want to say because, I don't really need to tell everybody about my marriage and relationships and stuff that is not over, dinners or, whatever disclosed information that I want to keep to myself. But I don't know about you.
Well,
but
it's also a lot to tell in a limited amount of time, and if one of us is not there, then people really only get like half the story. So we both kind of need to be there to tell the whole story, so that way there's context and filled and all that stuff.
But regardless, so we're going to be talking not just about our relationship, but also just things in general in our lives. We've known each other for now about 19 years. Roughly. No, it has been that long. Has been that long. Really?
I mean, it will be 19 years this summer, but it's not 19 years right now.
Fine. 18 point whatever the hell.
18 and a half years.
Anyway, but this is the thing. My husband's always told me that, Eric has always told me that pretty much I'm apparently his oldest friend. And I didn't know that for a long time.
Yeah, actually. I had to kind of think about that for a little bit and try to remember like who I hang out with from high school or even college. And really, yeah, Caroline has been my oldest continuous friend. We've been just continuously in each other's lives since 2004.
Another thing was that we realized is we're not the same people going into this that we were when we met each other. And
thank goodness.
In a way, yeah, thank goodness. I was 22 and he was 23.
Yeah.
On the cusp of 23. Yeah. So this is how we met. I met you at my 22nd birthday party.
Wrong.
Yes.
Wrong.
No. In person, I met you on my 22nd birthday.
Wrong.
Oh, God. Yes. That doesn't even count, though. It really doesn't. No.
I was meeting up with a friend of mine who Caroline at the time was dating and met in Midtown. I saw Caroline, and then they she just went home afterwards, and I just hung out with my friend, and I kept pestering him, like, who's that? And he was being even bigger pest, saying, like, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm not going to answer because you want me to answer. But yeah, that's the first time that that I actually saw her, and then the first time I actually spoke to Caroline was actually over AOL Instant Messenger. Remember that? AOL Instant Messenger.
That's how long ago this was, everybody.
And then I think we spoke over the phone briefly.
While you were in line for a
concert, right?
Was it Aerosmith or Guns N' Roses?
It's Aerosmith,
yeah. So for anyone who's ever asked me, like, how do we meet, I always just say we really met on my 22nd birthday. To summarize, basically. It's way too much to say how we met before because I don't even count those. I don't.
Wow.
I don't count them. I did not speak to you the first time. Didn't speak to you the first time. Didn't, barely talk to you the second time. I think you literally just called me just to make trouble.
If you could hear me rolling my eyes.
Whatever. So anyway, but that was when I met you, and truthfully, when we met in, for real that time, at John's Pizzeria in Bleecker Street, still my favorite place. And we did not like each other. We met, first off, apparently he was going to come with the guy I was dating at the time, who was my college boyfriend. One of my college boyfriends. And I was with a bunch of my girlfriends. We were all waiting outside this pizzeria for everyone to come so we could be seated. And Eric came, and I still remember he was wearing this green button-down shirt that was short-sleeved, and his
Mhm.
hair was spiked up, as was the style at the time.
Yeah. Yes.
And Eric was not a happy camper. He was, in fact, a real pain in the ass.
Well,
Hold on.
so
And he
let's
did not speak to me
let's put things
at
into
all.
context.
At all. And he basically decided to. Every time I was asked a question, I was like, "Why do you have such an attitude?" I was like, and I went to the guy I was dating at the time, and I basically said, "Who is your friend, and why the hell is he having like such a freaking like?" I don't know what his deal is, but he clearly doesn't want to be here, so he can go home if he really wants to. But then, in the end, we went to karaoke afterwards in the village, and he got up and sang "Sweet Child of Mine," Guns N' Roses. So I was like, okay, so he couldn't possibly be that bad.
So all this needs context.
Yeah.
And this is why it's problematic for only one of us to be present while telling the story, because this is all
That slurping is tea.
so this is all it needs context. So I was invited to this party by my friend, Caroline's ex-boyfriend at that time. So we went into the city, and when we got to, I want to say, Penn Station, maybe.
Sure.
Um,
I wouldn't know.
yeah, in truth, I don't even remember where we ended up, but we were walking around, and this guy wanted to buy her a flower, so we were walking around, looking for a florist or a bodega or something, so he can do that. He can get this flower, and then we went down to the pizzeria, and he had failed to mention to me that we were going to the pizzeria. And the reason why that's significant is because I'm lactose intolerant, so I couldn't actually eat anything. So I was not actually mad at anyone in particular, except I kind of wish my friend had told me that it was going to be a pizzeria. That way I could have eaten something before getting there. Anyway, hold on, wait. So we got there, and I was happy to meet Caroline. She was wearing jeans and a brown tank top.
No.
Black tank top, and
it was on sale at the Gap.
Yay!
Yeah.
Well, my green button-down shirt was on sale from H&M.
Woo!
Just fist bumped. Okay. So that's essentially where we were at, and when I actually first saw her, in daylight, and was able to actually put a face to a voice, I kind of thought to myself, she's too cool to be hanging out with us. She's, there's.
Hey, that's okay. I did not say that he did, so let's be clear.
I was definitely not cool enough for her crowd, and maybe I was feeling out of place. But yes, it didn't help that I couldn't eat anything, and regardless.
So, I mean, in the end, that's not really, truly wasn't the end of the story at all. What ended up happening was it was a kind of seesaw ride from that point on of that phase of my life. Unlucky for this other guy, and any guy really, that I was dating in my 20s. I just was not in the mood to be anyone's girlfriend. And what does that mean? It means that it wasn't just a young thing. It was just really one guy in high school really ruined it for everybody. What does that mean? It means that he had been very incredibly emotionally destructive after that. Only recently started kind of giving more details to that. I was on the phone. He would call my dorm room a lot. And this boyfriend from high school basically told me if I hung up that he would kill himself. That does stuff to people. That really does stuff to people. So whenever any guy told me they had feelings for me after that, it was just a really bad pattern. I would want guys, but they wouldn't want me. And the guys I did end up in relationships with, if they ever told me they loved me, I always just ran away every single time. And this and you, it was no different because as nice and wonderful as a person as you were, I didn't want another guy to do that. I also didn't want to be codependent, and I didn't want any more bad relationships. And
right. What I was feeling about being in a relationship at that time was very similar to what she was feeling. However, there was the added little bit of Caroline's dating my friend. So for me, it was that's why I didn't want to be in any relationship of any kind because of that.
Obviously, that was not.
Yeah, I mean, it just felt like we were supposed to do this. So,
I'm glad you knew. I certainly didn't at the time. So
yeah, and you know what? There are lots of other things for us to consider and to think about. This is only like a little snippet of our story that spans almost 19 years. So,
so now it's almost 19 years.
Yeah, 18 and a half.
You are annoying sometimes. Anyway.